And you are live, Drumboardist. Take us away.
Okay, well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. As the intro there clearly said, hi, I'm Drumboardist, and this is a game that, I don't know, you might have heard of? My cat is chiming in the background. He'll do that occasionally. Please just, well, I guess deal with it. I don't know, I assume I don't necessarily give you guys the countdown for this, since, you know, you also have my timer on the screen, so I'm assuming it's that. What? 1 second, let me make sure he's not, like, injured or something. That's been a thing that's happened before. Yes, what do you want? Hello? No, you're fine. Sorry, yes, I know, before the run entirely, my cat's whining at me, but, like, the first 2 months that I had him, he fell out a window and broke his hip, so for the past 13 years, I've been very paranoid about anything else happening to him, so he's good, he's fine, he should be okay, and for those of you who can't see me at all, he's sitting in my lap, so you're just gonna have to deal with it. So, anyways, Starwish, yes, let's go ahead and do this. Categories, all endings. That doesn't mean you get to see all endings, that's why there is a donation war for the ending that we go for. I have to play on hard mode, I have to unlock all of the dialogue trees for all 8 of the characters, I have to not die for a lot of it, and that's enough messing around, I guess, so I'm just going to go ahead and get started so we confirm hard. There's immediately dialogue, of course, you know, you get your Star Wars scroll, we're going to skip that. Skip this, and I've learned we actually just go ahead and skip everything, so we're going to go ahead and start. Let's do this. And the first thing I need to do is turn on the mouse. You can use the keyboard to control with this game. I prefer to use the mouse. And someone please remind me as to whether or not I actually removed the mouse from being seen on the screen, because that would mean you're not seeing the ship, and that's not a pretty situation. Nobody wants that. You know, it would be helpful if you could actually see what's going on. So there's going to be a lot to unpack in this game. For starters, here's the first boss, a capital ship. I'm not a capital ship, and the faster method to go about this is just die. There's dialogue, we skip it, of course we do. So, let me see, there's stats, we need to constantly be maxing out our luck, which as you see controls crit, item percent, money, moolah in the game, your intellect is your crit damage, helpful, shields so you don't die, regen, which is how fast your shields come back, and experience so you level up very quickly. Agility's garbage, defense is predominantly life, and then your oh no button, your I'm invincible but also slightly hurt everything on the screen, you'll see it eventually because I'll have to use it. Offense is offense. We're never going to touch offense agility. As weird as that sounds, we're just not gonna. So we go to the weapons lab. Here's our delightful weapons lady named Deadeye, who constantly tries to use her wonderful weaponry tests on you, the player, because she's nice. Those are the 6 people you got to talk to, and so we immediately start working on the dialogue trees by talking to the first 2 that you kind of have to at that point of time. And let's move on to our first stage. What do you say? First real stage. Now, we blowed up. We blowed up in that first level. So, the weapons tech lady, very unhappy about what just happened. We have nothing on the ship. I have a cat that is very annoyed right now, but that's fine. Those orbs are items. You shoot, you know, it's like Gradius. There's a lot of Gradius, or just pick your poison shooter-related things going on in this game. Hank, what do you want? What? I know you have food and water. You can't use that line on me. Oh, and when I actually remember to, I want to bump the quality up to high, because medium is me, and you certainly don't want to see low. In fact, let's, on a lark, we'll set this to low so you can see why it, no, it's not going to let me. Okay, don't escape on that. Okay, so here's low. It looks, and that was the oh no button. That is the we are invulnerable, we're okay. As you can see, it looks just wonderful, doesn't it? It is just the most beautiful thing you've ever seen. Clearly. So, I mean, it's a shooter with a ton of the RPG elements and such. You can see the damage that it is that I'm inflicting on things being showed by that wonderful pop-up with the damage, and occasionally there's crits. And all the weapons have inherent levels of crit and accuracy. There is an accuracy rating in this, which seems weird because it's a shooter, but in order to make that fair, occasionally what happens is you don't do full damage with your shot. It's called a glancing blow, which makes sense. And I need to recharge my oh no button. There are several ways to do it. By simply having a higher amount of defense, it will just recharge faster and faster for you, which is a good thing. It's not really going to do... It's never there for the damage. It is there because you are about to die, and that's not a pretty thing. In the bottom left, the red bar as it fills up is your overdrive, your uh-oh button. which we hope we don't have to wind up using pretty much ever, but it happens like clockwork towards the back third of the game because the difficulty ramps up an awful lot. And you could go full hit point builds and you're still going to get destroyed. First boss of the game, you can highlight one of the letters of drone ship approaching, and you're in a dead spot, which works. You fight each boss 3 times. On the 3rd time, they get new abilities. This one will start throwing out drone ships that, well, by the time I get there, I'm so underleveled that if one touches me, and it can randomly just throw it into me, if it touches me, I'm dead. So, not a solid strat once you start getting towards that section of the game. Back to the weapons lab. I don't think there's anything I desperately need right this second in the game. Next up in the cafe, we gotta talk to Ginny, our ship's engineer. There she was. And Tessa, our adoptive sister. We've lived with her forever. She's cool and fun and awesome, whatever. She's also the ship's doctor. And is very, very, very mad that I keep coming back from all of these missions very, very heavily damaged. Let's set that quality back up to high. Anyways, as you can see, like, a level 1 machine gun, there's your accuracy, your crit, and the crit rate natively goes up with your intelligence. Yes, maxed luck is the way to go in this game. Maxed luck and intelligence. Drops your boosts. Drops your boosts. Don't drop your boost. You need those. What am I saying? I covered it briefly. It's, what is it? Luck is drops and money and crit rate, and then intelligence is crit damage, and then how fast your shields recharge, and how much of a bonus you get to your shields. I was going to say, yeah, the overdrive, since it is temporary invulnerability, it's not a thing you want to have to be using a lot. It's really just, I'll do that, and then the time that it is on the screen, my shields are recharging. The way that you can recharge those shields... Oh, and this also rapidly turns into a bullet hell, by the way. So, again, RPG, shooter, visual novel, bullet hell, dating sim? Just because some of the endings deal with you winding up, you marry some of the female protagonists. It doesn't mean it's a dating sim. Come on, you get along with all of the crew members. It is not a dating sim because a couple of the endings, one of them, my favorite ending, is with the barkeep, who is very nice and wonderful and accommodating, and another one of them is a big drunken panda, who also operates the ship's cannons. I'm on the little ship here, the scout, the X-wing, if you will. And the capital ship that we use, he operates the main cannon bank on that thing while drinking heavily, and is also a panda, and is from a planet called Bamboo, which was destroyed by the events happening prior to this game. So I guess let's talk about the actual plot of this game. So, space, faring, conquest, there's a big evil, I guess if you will, federation. And they have their colossal overreach and all that jazz, and people hate it, and it's silly and terrible and whatever. So, logically, when things like that happen, well, we're not the rebellion, because I think that's trademark. No, what we are right now is the pirates. And there are apparently 7, major pirates all throughout the galaxy that have, legit special abilities. I am taking way more damage than I should right here. Okay, thank you, shielding. And these 7, super pirates have special abilities. The one that is leading our ship right now has precognition. She can tell when the Empire is coming to look for you. That's not a fun situation. Ain't nobody wanting to have nothing to do with that. What am I looking at? What am I doing here? Is it the wilderness? It is the wilderness. Alright. I keep poking my head in on the, oh, I forgot to buy more speed-ups. That was stupid. I'm actually going to jump out real quick because I really want these speed-ups. And my leaving that section right there does not impact the run, except slightly slower. But yeah, I wanted to buy more of these. I can't afford enough of them yet. But, one of the first things that you would immediately start doing in this game is you buy mods. It's essentially like, stacking equipment, if you will. You get more weapons unlocked as you go. But stacking equipment, the very first thing that you start going for is speed-ups. And I keep using hey, it's like Gradius term. There's a reason for that. It's because any of you who've ever seen the TAS of Gradius, the first thing they do is they start dumping a bunch of points into speed ups, and they start getting to the point where they're moving so fast that their frame rate skips, which allows them to start passing through objects and shots and such, and that works in this game too. So we max out our speed, so we have that little extra bonus of being able to just avoid things and skip through them. I got lucky a couple of times on that previous boss. Those big lasers, you can Gradius skip through them, but I did not... I got lucky on a couple of those because my speed was not great enough for me to legitimately be able to pull them off, but I pulled them off. So anyways, we're space pirates in space, woo! And we're constantly being chased down by the Empire. Predominantly that big capital ship that I died in the tutorial stage. I died fighting it. You can beat it. You actually get you get an achievement called, I think, Anachronism. Because, well, yeah, the plot continues on anyways of, oh no, you died to the capital ship, whatever. And then you spend like 3 months on a planet just trying to rebuild your ship, and you meet the soon-to-be engineer who's like, I love ships and mechanical things, and I rebuilt part of your ship. Like, how did you do this? You're coming with me, you're our new engineer. All right, cool. And then you then progress outwards into the world. The captain of the ship, the super pirate with precog, whose name is Aurica, the Oracle. Do you get it? Yeah, sorry. There are puns like that in this game. I cannot promise that I will be avoiding them. In fact, I will probably not be avoiding them because puns. I mean, I like them. They're good. So yeah, I missed that guy, so I'm just gonna have to deal with his bullets right now, aren't I? All right, Living Heart, greatest boss in the game. This guy, as you can see, he has 4 beams and a bullet. I have no hands on the mouse right now because he was originally coded to base off of your keyboard and would be slowly trying to draw you in, so you'd have to have a certain amount of speed to not get drawn in, but it was not properly recoded to use the mouse. So I can just hang out wherever and not die. It's important to make sure that I'm dumping these like intellect and such so my crit damage is at full, because then when that starts dropping off and I have high crit weapons, then I'm really in a bit of a pickle because that sucks. So Ginny and Swig, here we go. There's the conversation. Sorry you don't get the chance to actually read the conversations, but well, you don't get to read the conversations. Yes, no, yes, what's correct? I completely forgot where it was I was. I was gonna actually look at some weaponry because it'll be helpful. What's the best machine gun that we have here? Is that just a level 8? Just a level 8? Yeah, it is. Alright, so we're gonna take a level 8 and we're gonna dump into the fortress. Fortress. There's also a forest, so I don't know, I get hit in the head a lot. Just, you know, just deal with it.
So speaking of machine guns, or really not machine guns at all, can I pop in with a quick donation?
Yes.
Oh man, so we got an amazing donation in my opinion. It is from our longtime supporter, Mylon Z, who has donated $50, who and would like to name Cecil in Final Fantasy IV Mylon Z. So guys, if you do not want infinite trolling from Mylon Z in your Final Fantasy IV run, you've got to donate to kick that out of the lead. But for now, thank you so much for your generous donation, Mylon. We love you even when you're throwing us into the deep ravine.
Now, if only there was a way to rename Mylon Z in-game to Trash Can, we could just come full circle.
Right? I think he's going to withdraw his donation. Too late. No take backs.
All right, fine, Piggy. No. Oh. All right. So, where are we at? So, the Captain Oracle, Arica, tells us we have to go locate these things that the Empire is also looking for and is being kind of dodgy about it, which is weird for the Captain because, you know, it's very important things that we need to be locating as we find out eventually. They're magical star shards that, like, empower these, not even the pirates. They empower... Well, let's just go ahead and start, I guess, being spoiler territory here. So, obviously, space, shooter, lots of all this fun stuff going on, high-level techno, babble, blah-blah-blah. Yeah, so this universe has genies. Creatures of magical ability and power that can grant wishes. And they're trying to locate these star shards, which empower the genies further, and those star shards are remnants of the planet that they were from that exploded a long time ago. And we start meeting some of these genies, and Well, you remember that capital ship that I was annoyed about that we were fighting? Again, I died against at the beginning of the game. That's being piloted by a character named Nefriti, who is a very, very, very powerful genie, who is trying to locate those star shards, get enough of them to become powerful enough to create a wormhole in space to be able to then teleport back to her home planet. Hey, new skill. I'll take the explosive crit, because of course I will. Now my sub-weapons can explode, can crit, which is good. By a lot. Who's up at the cafe? I honestly forgot. Is it Marantessa? Marantessa. Great. Alright, so there's those two. Great. We go into the weapons lab. Do we have a laser? We have a laser! We have the weapons going to carry us through most of the start of this. I'm fine with this. I don't think there's any other mods I need to get right this second. There is not, so we're just going to press onward to the forest. So, we have a laser now, by the way. Isn't it fun? To be fair, it's not one continuous beam. As you can see, it is several shots that are being fired in rapid. I hate words. Words are stupid. Can I just throw that out there? Words are dumb. All right. So, anyways, laser. I'm gonna be using this for honestly about half the run. Because it's good. And interestingly, one of the mechanics of this game, like I said, it is not a solid beam, or liquid, or gas, or well, it might be plasma. It is a series of beams that are being fired rather quickly, and they line up with you on the screen, where you are on the vertical axis. So what this means is occasionally there are enemies that are hiding behind things, but because the laser is going to kind of stick with where I am, I can actually, like, duck and dive behind a wall and have the laser pot shot it, which is a little bit unfair because you don't start getting piercing weaponry for a while. I mean, piercing as in it will pierce the landscape, which is fun. And not for a while. I get a sub-weapon. Well, the bomb actually pierces. Here, look. You can see the bomb right now is flying through the background, whereas the laser will stop right there. Interesting. You get 3 more sub-weapons and 1 more vowel that kind of do the same. That's how it works. Yeah, no, this game is not in the games list. I don't know why. It's just a shame. So, I don't know. Select it as RPG or retro or Congregate isn't a thing you can select, sadly. I mean, on Congregate alone, this thing has almost 2 million plays. I feel like it should have its own thing. I don't know why it doesn't. I'm moderately annoyed that it doesn't. But that's just stems to break what you're gonna do. So what was I talking about? Retro, I like it. Retro is good. This game came out like 7 years ago? That's retro? I mean, it came out 7 years ago, but in terms of the feel and the form, it's very retro in the shooter and RPG statuses. So, by the way, here's a boss. It's a rocket snake. We are fighting a rocket snake. I'm just gonna go ahead and let this boss speak for itself. Oh, also, occasionally the rocket part isn't a trick. He will just charge at you. It's what he do. So, hello there, Mr. Rocket Snake. You can blow up his eyes. That always seems a little rude to me, so I'm not gonna do that. Also, it's slower, so again, I'm not gonna do that. Nope. He was almost dead, you butt! Oh, come on! There we go. I was like, why are you not dead yet? That's moderately to majorly annoying, because that's another cycle of stupid. And the oh no button would not have helped for that. No lasers! Ah! That sucks. Alright, so Johnny and... No, Ginny and Deadeye. I'm reading ahead. There's a specific order you have to talk to everybody in to ensure that you are getting everybody's dialogue trees unlocked. So that was my bad, not paying attention correctly. So while playing this game, I'm now going to take this brief moment to drink some coffee. Oh, and the game has a great soundtrack, which you can get for free, because, again, free game. Yeah. So, yeah, shout-outs to Ari Plane and Will Holly for the great soundtrack. Also, shout-outs to Dan. Hello, Dan is on Twitch. Doesn't stream or anything, just shows up in my chat frequently because I play this game. I played the guy's game. You're like, yeah, I'm gonna watch that. Because why not? It is such a pleasure to be able to actually run this thing in marathons. It is great. It is, I mean, you know, rubbing shoulders with, you know, all them legit RPGs. And again, I think it's a great game. It's fun. It's interesting. It's a great concept. It's fairly well made, but also just very, very interesting at times. So yeah, we're looking for star shards that our illustrious captain told us to go find. So we're finding them because they power up these genies with mystical, magical powers, so that they can be even more powerful. Because that's fair, and hey, why not? I guess. There we go. Yeah, come on. Ah, I didn't glide that last drone. That was stupid. That's fine though. So there's 8 different weapons you get throughout the game. We use pretty much... in recent mapping of the game, we use 4 of them. You have to use the machine gun. That's a bit of a given. There's a boss who has a constantly changing weak spot, so you just have to... You're constantly trying to line up a shot on this tiny weak spot. You know, the blaster port is not great. But I used to bullseye Womp Rats back in my T16 back at home, so, you know, I'm pretty good at that too. Like, the laser, every time it would hit, the weak spot would immediately change, and I have to try and locate another spot and back and forth, and there's also lasers constantly going and also bullets. No, it's actually just lasers and then homing lasers, and then the third form, someone gave it a sword. It's a big spacefaring enemy with a sword. Don't think about that too long. It's funny, it's amazing, and it looks like a big router, so... Well, maybe not a router. There's less Cat 5 around it. Modem? Just a modem, I guess? Wisp? Wisp! Ugh, this is what happens when I don't have a freaking good laser to go on here. Laser? Alright, so she now has a secondary weapon that'll fire up and down. There's a really good laser. Before I start doing this, I have to go to the cafe and make sure that I talk to everybody it is that I have to. Yeah, Johnny requires this guy, Johnny, the barkeep, who respects money because he wants all that moolah for his schemes, you know. And he's also apparently Cockney. One can never have too much moolah, right? And on that note, we're going to skip him. And then you have the drunken panda, who's always in the bar because of course he is. Johnny respects money, so you have to continually have increasing amounts of money just in your bank account. Otherwise, you can't talk to him. Swig just occasionally wakes up from his drunken stupor and is in the bar, and you can talk to him. The engineer, Ginny, the white-haired gal who sells you the mods for your plane, you know, speed up, extra shields, crit luck, etc. Don't die. She cares about you an awful lot, so don't die. Your adoptive sister, you're not related. You know, you and her were on a space station way back in the day that exploded, and you were taken in by, well, the drunken panda. Because, hey, good parenting means you're there, right? Your parents died, so it's just unfortunately how it went. Unfortunately, hers too. So he raised both of his. She's the doctor. She's apparently very good. She works herself to the bone a little bit too much, constantly annoyed you're injuring yourself. Her, what's the word I'm looking for? Her, increasing, prerequisite for having dialogue trees open up is that you have to buy more and more mods, which, since there aren't really any mods that actually affect your ability to, hurt more, it's really all survivability and luck. So she wants you to survive. I mean, not die. That's apparently a little bit too out of the realm of reasonable, but hey, whatever. And it goes up 10 per every dialogue tree, so by the end of the game you have to have 70, and also every time you buy one mod it goes up by another 1,000, so it gets very pricey very quickly. What else? Yeah, Swig just shows up. The other super pilot, the blue Bill Hader, no. Darth Vader helmet wearing person. Words are hard. I hate them. I hate words. I hate nouns. Really, I hate nouns, and I hate just all words. Why sugarcoat it? They're all stupid. That chick, she is usually running out on missions too. She shows up every 4 days, so you really got to make sure that you're talking to her whenever she shows up, because if you don't, then you can't learn anything. She teaches you how to be a better pilot, which usually amounts to, there ain't no way you fight in everything, so stop trying. Which is funny, because in the speedrun you fight everything. By the way, this stage we're actually underwater. I don't know how well you might have been able to tell at all, but we are actually moving a lot slower because we are underwater. That's the big mechanic of this stage. And what that means is that this boss's mechanic is, it's fairly straightforward, but because we are so plodding in the water right now that it's very difficult to avoid a lot of his attacks. Yay! Keep bumping those things up. Who we got here? It's weapon levels. Where am I at? What am I looking at? I'm behind, aren't I? Johnny and Swig. No, yeah, Tessa. There's a lot to unpack here. I gotta try and make sure I'm also bumping my notes up as well so I can remember the specific order of people it is that I have to talk to. Thank you. Still nothing good or new right here. Every level of weaponry purchasing that I make is a 5% increase on that weapon's stats. So, wait, what? What did I do? Wait, I thought I clicked on the thing, it just didn't want to accept it. Okay. Making sure that I have all of the notes set up properly. Because, like, if you miss talking to one person at the right time and the right day, everything just kind of unravels and you'll wind up missing one of the dialogue trees for one of the people. And since you have to unlock all 8, you have to, well, that means you don't get the super secret ending. You get the regular ending, and you won't know until you, well, you'll know because you didn't get one of the trees for one of the other people. There's a menu at the end of the game. It shows up, hey, here is the ending for this person. You know, you can select who it is that you want to help out. Because at the end of the game, you get back to that wish-faring planet that the genies are from. Again, you know, high fantasy in my, someone spilled some high fantasy in my, my shooter, man. No, you got some shooter in my high fantasy. Why are there genies? This is interesting and all, but, you know, just go for it. Where was I? Forgot where I was. Clearly I'm in space. Yeah, here's a fine example of, hey, look, I got a laser. Takes out the things in front of me. And I got a bomb that'll take out the things beneath me. Yay! So the dialogue trees are annoying. Some people you just talk to them when they show up. 2 people are don't die or stop getting injured. You have to buy more weaponry, obviously, when it comes to the weapons lady, because of course you do. And the one last character is actually the bad guy of the first 2/3 of the game, who is, you know, destroying suns and planets and galaxies just trying to create a wormhole to be able to go back home. Spoiler, she succeeds, but then she discovers her home planet is no longer there. It got destroyed by, well, the best way to put it is the living embodiment of wish granting that has, in order to give itself enough power to grant all the wishes that people are making throughout the universe, it granted it itself sentience and then started growing, and it is pretty much a galaxy-sized creature. You'll see it when I see it. You only fight its face in this game, which is the entirety of the right side of the screen. Which is fair, because if you're gonna fight, you know, an entire galaxy, you best not try to fight, well, all of it at once. You might as well take it in small bites. Everybody else in your team at that point is fighting other sections of the boss, but you go for the face, because, well, that's always the boss's weak point, isn't it? Specifically the mouth. I mean, if there's gonna be a weak point on a boss, it's probably going to be the face, and if it's going to be the face, it's probably going to be the mouth, because that's how we roll, isn't it? Mare and Deadeye, Mare and Deadeye. Hey. I didn't see anything I desperately need to have in here. What's my spread at? 1. No. No. I need that for one of these bosses coming up, and I'm not about to have that happen, thanks. No, I'm grabbing that now. This weapon that I just got, it's not bad. I mean, look at it. Decent damage. Very short range, but the AoE's pretty good. It's just in terms of overall damage per second, and yes, damage per second, it's not bad. That thing just has a lot of health, by the way. But occasionally it'll just miss enemies, and just give me the laser. DPS, as we call it, you know, in the biz. It's better with the laser. See, now this one's already dead. Although, to be fair, it's level 7 to 14, I don't know, numbers. Laser versus the level 1 crush that I just got. So, I'm somehow drawing a blank on what it is that I was going to talk about next. So, hey, Natara, if you have any donations, you can go ahead and read them. I'm cool. I think I threw her for a loop. Oh no, what? Or really, if at any point of time you want to go ahead and read a donation, just go ahead and say, hey, Drummy, Not dummy. Not... Don't be that guy. I have family for that. I don't need friends doing that. Who am I kidding? The friends do it too. Who am I kidding? I don't have friends. But yeah, just go ahead and give me the shout out, because, you know, there's that. So yeah, the general plot is right now we're looking for star shards. As it turns out, those star shards are the fragments of the planet that was destroyed by the super powerful wish-granting creature at the end of the game that we're going to go fight. I really should have taken up those drones first. I don't know what I was thinking. Yes. No. What's correct? I don't know. So I guess I'll just go ahead and I'm going to take this opportunity to vape, and you can continue listening to the music. Oh, by the way, here's the boss with the roaming weak spots. So yeah, rather than trying to locate it, which they're going to be dangerously close to those lasers, so I'm not even going to be able to hit them a lot of the time. I will just hang back and use the AoE blast. And I'm trying to Gradius skip, remember when I mentioned that part, through these lasers. I didn't get one of them. I'm moderately annoyed. There we go. There we go! Oh, that one didn't take. That was dumb. That's fine. Alright, new skill. What do I want? Gee, let me see. I want my sub-weapons to fire a lot faster. Because why wouldn't I? So next up is the boss of the first section of the game. First major boss, I should say. And it's probably the most harrowing fight of the game. My laser's 14. I'm actually going to buy the 20 here. I probably should have actually made sure that I had enough bank to talk to talk to Ginny and Johnny first. Rolling down the street. Smoking, no, I'm vaping, and talking to Ginny and Johnny, laid back. Where am I at? So yeah, after the Earth Wall, I have to be at 30 mods anyways. I'd have enough money after this to be able to afford it anyways. Okay, accuracy is good. I'm definitely going to want probably the health. It's a bigger survivability boon right this second. All right, let's fight the first major boss. Which, this is when the Empire caught up to us. Here it is. Oh boy, there it is. And I immediately took a shot. I kind of want to immediately restart the stage. we're gonna see how it goes. I'm actually gonna play it safer. I'm gonna hang. Oop, no, that wasn't safer at all. I was gonna hang out and let my vertical firing bombs. Don't think about that too long. Do a little bit of extra damage. Oh, I should have bought upgrades for that, too. That's the other thing I keep forgetting to get. Because this boss trends a little bit higher towards the top of the screen, so it doesn't really make sense to try and have good bombs and then be dropping them on the boss. It just really, you should be, you know, not be putting yourself into the realm of danger. I'll take that one, I guess. That's fine. Well, we pretty well got this one in the bag, so we're good. There we go. Cool. Holy cow, I'm ahead on my splits? What did I do? I'm confused by this. Sorry, for those of you who are curious, I am actually on world record pace. Oh, right, so there it is. There's the best weapon in the game, the saw mines. We're not going to be using it yet. But we have it. I could show it off if I wanted to. Earthwall, Swig, and Tessa. Yeah, okay. Okay, sorry, yes, no, yes, what's correct? I don't even know anymore. After this, I have to have a certain number of total levels across all weapons. It is plus 10, and then plus 20, and then 30, and then 40, and 50. So next one, I have to have 160 total weapons across, total levels across all weapons just to be able to get this done. So, here's the best weapon in the game. I am throwing I'm throwing saw blades in space that then turn around and fly back at me. They do not have great accuracy. They have a very, very high crit rate. And it's one of the few weapons, one of the 2 weapons that I can use to fire behind me without taking, like, feats. Yes, there are feats. There are feats that are effectively skills, and then obviously stats as well. Hey, it's an RPG. What'd you expect? But because it's not very powerful right this second, it's not that great. However, it is one of those weapons that can fly through the background, which also means it can fly through enemies. It just ignores collision. It will hit a couple of times, back and forth. Very, very, very useful. Obviously, one of the big problems with it is the incredibly short range that it has. It's not exactly the best thing in the world. But again, I mean, if you have the ability to throw boomerang saw blades in space that have a high crit rate, brother, you do that. I don't think you even need a spaceship. No, you need it. You need a space. Don't go into space without at least a space suit. I mean, Renoa learned that one pretty quick. Well, this is not. Oh, I should really have a ship. Oh, I didn't think this one out at all. Squaw! Yeah, what are those? And then there's singing. I completely derailed my own train of thought. Where was I? The train left the station, and then I'm just sitting back here going, wait, I was talking FF8. What's going on? Hello. So that's about all it is that I got to say about any of that right there. So stages start having little fun corridors of pain like this, as you can see. Whoop, and you don't want to wander too close into them. Terrain starts doing huge amounts of damage to you. See, that was 3 hits, and I'm nearly out of shields right there. Because we're in the second phase of the stages. So again, same bosses and such. Oh, I did not find the right spot there. That is annoying. But, hey, again, look at that. It's this boss that I had to deal with before. So now I'm just going to shoot it a lot, hang out, have a little bit more coffee. No, I'm not. He's almost dead. I take it back. I'm not going to do the thing it is I said I was going to do. Crap. Who's next? I already forgot. No! It's Jenny and Deadeye. It's Jenny and Deadeye. Jenny, Deadeye, go! Then stats. Make sure you poke your head in so new things are unlocked. There we go. Evade module. You're never really going to use that. It's fun to have, but you're just never going to use that. Here's a really powerful saw mine. Again, I'm not going to use it yet, but having one that powerful would probably be pretty good for taking out at least bosses. This one's a pretty good example because this is the boss that had all of the frickin' meteorites flying at you, which, you know, are going to block the laser shots. Saw mines will ignore that entirely, so you remove a mechanic of the boss. However, the meteorites are still physical objects that are going to be flying into you and kicking your butt. Not fun. You don't want that. Why would you do that to yourself? So we're going to start doing a bit of weapon swapping here and there, because I can. And you can see having maxed out luck is causing a lot of items to drop, and a fairly good amount of crit. Natively, the laser has no crit rate at all, so having a high luck rate, more drops, more money, but also the weapon that's not supposed to crit, so its normalized damage compared to everything else is, you know, fairly reasonable. Well, now it's just unfair. It becomes more unfair once you get the saw mines up to speed, because again, double hitting long-range blades that are going to ignore everything. Why not? Just go for that. And you don't really see the glancing hits from the saw mines nearly as often as you see the crits, of which it has obscene amounts of, so you go for that. Like, when you get to the final boss, oh, you bet we're going to be using the saw mines. The saw mines, and occasionally we swap back and use the spread gun, because the final boss decides, you know what, I'm tired of this. Why does this guy get the big giant screen-clearing beam of pink death and destruction? I want one of those. And it gets one of those. And that's not fun. Thankfully, it doesn't cover the entire screen, but it covers enough of it, so it's pretty much impossible to actually try and land shots on him. You can try to bank some in using that, or you can eventually try to get some shots off using the hidden final weapon, which just occasionally shows up in the shop, but you don't get told about it. It's called Chain. Just anything around you just starts taking damage. It's really neat, really, really weak. You also have to be really close to the boss, so I would not suggest doing that to yourself. Annoying thing about having low-range saw mines for this boss is that I have to be in close. I'm hoping that doesn't present itself to being a problem. If it does, I will run screaming and dance back outside and use the laser like that. Excuse me, that was rude. I apologize. That's, don't chug coffee and then start, we're just gonna use the button now. We're gonna use the button now. There's the button. I hope you liked it. This boss is not being very friendly. I'm going to do that. Okay, then. Alright. Oh, defense also determines, yeah, how much life you get, how much damage you reduced, and how quickly your oh no button recharges. Good to have. Good to have. Mare and Johnny. Oh, what's troubling you, mate? I'm not going fast enough. That's what. And by the way, that's apparently your character saying blam, not blam. and then ask you if you're under attack, because he's clever. Alright, so good. I've got missiles. Oh, you have upgrades for missiles already? Thank you, game. That is... I didn't know it was my birthday, but I appreciate that. My birthday's not for a few months, man. Why you got to be like that to me? And the answer is, I don't know. So anyways, our third sub-weapon of the day fires forward. So now we have missiles that can fire forward. Now they impact upon the surface and do no damage, much like the previous X-Wing's proton torpedoes trying to take out the Death Star. Don't read into that sentence too long. Hello? I'm trying to... No, not that. Oh, no. Oh, no. My fingers are in the wrong spots. What am I doing? Help! Oh, this is getting bad. In a hurry. Okay, so we're going to swap back to this. I really need to not die, so I'm going to restart the stage. I'm getting dangerously close to dying right now, and I would really prefer if that didn't happen. Because I have not unlocked the final dialogue tree for the engineer on the ship, and again, her stipulation is don't die. I'm almost there. If I die right now... all endings is no longer the category that I'm running because I cannot get all endings because I incurred a death. That means not getting the final dialogue tree for that particular character. Okay, sorry, I was getting distracted for some odd reason. I was trying to select bombs and it wasn't happening, and I was on the wrong forward firing weapon, and so I was very thoroughly unable to get back in front of all the enemies that are coming at me. There are keyboard commands for this that you can use to swap between weaponry. And I got lost very quickly. Oh no! that is not a situation I want to be in.
Can I pop in for a quick second there?
You can!
Oh, speaking of all endings, I want to remind everyone, we have donation incentives. So if you have a particular ending that you want to see, or want to pick the one which Drumboardist really wants to see, you can check out the incentives list and send a donation for the one you want to see.
Indeed. Yeah, and as a reminder, in case you somehow didn't know, y'all are watching the TheRPGValkyries. They're doing their fundraiser to help them get the limit break. Yeah, wow. So, donate. It's for friends, folks. Help out the friends. You know, get to do the thing with the thing. Yeah. I'm just gonna take that one right in the face right here. That's fine. That's cool. Okay, I'm not gonna dodge that bullet. Oh! Tried to dodge a bullet, ran into a bullet. I'm clever. I don't know if you guys knew this. I'm obviously a clever person. I make no wrong mistakes. Well, I mean, they're all mistakes, right? No, what's the old statement? Not all errors are mistakes. Oh boy. Well, I'm definitely making the mistakes there. So there's that. I was on world record pace. I pretty well guarantee I lost it. We shall see though. So what am I doing? Oh, Living Heart, right. Okay, so let's move it a little bit closer and use this more powerful saw mines that I have, because this should, in theory, kill faster. And again, it's a boss where I can just hang out and do nothing, so I'm going to vape again. Cool. Yeah, now 5 seconds behind. That figures. That's fine. What are you gonna do? Alright, probably nothing. Well, those are really powerful missiles, but I also need to remember to actually poke my head into the cafe. Where am I at? I beat the thing with the thing. It's just Ginny and Swig. Just Ginny and Swig. Alright, sorry. And if you ever get lost in the game for some odd reason, you can talk to Johnny, who immediately mentions the ocean that I already talked about. What is after this? I gotta be at 40 mods. And a lot of weapon levels, 100 weapon levels. I don't know if I'm going to get to that point yet, but we're going to go ahead and go just general survivability at this point, because the game starts to be kind of brutal at this point. And let's not have that be a thing. Weapon levels total, it's kind of hard to just remember all this. Was that 26, 46, 57, yeah, shoot, 61, 81. We're probably there. Yeah, we're there, okay? I don't need to worry about buying anything right this second. We move on to the city. I picked... No, this is the wrong city. I was going to say, did I pick the right city? I did pick the right city. Do I need to turn you up into... Oh, you're right. I probably do. I think I've turned you guys down. I had turned down Discord like a few times when I was, say, running Earthbound, and there's a good amount of yapper in Discord while I'm trying to also do the yapping and also the game audio, so I turned them guys down, so that was my bad. I apologize. I could just pause the game and go ahead and do it, but, I mean, hey, if I get back on world record pace, I'll go for it, right? I mean, you know, open up the marathon with a shebang. Record in this is, well, of course it was one of those ones that I did offline because of course I was, but it was a 1:42. 1 hour, 42 minutes, and then a nice luxurious, like, 15 minutes of reading the ending because, again, visual novel. So the endings in this game amount to, you beat the big giant creature that, you know, galaxy-sized thing that has the power to grant wishes and is empowered by the remnants of of the planet that genies came from. And you beat him, you grab those star pieces, and then the other half of the star shows up, called, well, the wishing star, or Starwish. Hey, look at that, it's the title. And it's like, thank you very much for helping me out. You know, I'm sorry about my brother there. He's a bit of a butt. Anyways, I'm going to grant you a wish, even though you're a human and you're not supposed to be able to get those. But I'm going to grant you a wish. And what do you want? And you can then decide generic, I don't know what to wish for, which is, you know, the basic ending. I didn't unlock anybody's ending, so I picked that. Or, if you manage to actually finish anybody else's trees, then you get to have their ending as a thing that you can pick. And that's what the donation incentives, not incentives, that's what the donation bid war is. I donated $5 for Johnny, because he's the best ending. You know, the barkeep who is constantly embroiled in get-rich-quick schemes that never work out for him. It's objectively the best ending of the game. Long shot, thank you. This means I can actually start using the saw mines. Cafe. Do I get Tessie? Yeah, Tessie and Deadeye. We there! Cool. What am I doing? Keep boosting those up. So I don't want my crit damage to fall by the wayside. Charged! One weapon I never use. My spread's at 18. I'll take the 27. That's a good one right there. Where am I at? Next one I just have to have 200k, which is fine. I don't think I really need any mods right this second. I don't really need any of that anyways. I don't know why I'm bothering to look at stuff. Alright. So y'all remember that rocket snail? He's fun. By the way, yeah, we're done with the laser now because as you can see, the much more powerful weapon now goes a little bit further. All of our weapons go a little bit further. So honestly, kind of pot-shotting with the lasers at this point becomes more difficult, but that doesn't become an issue anymore because we can just kind of shoot through the objects that were giving us trouble before. So, not a problem, not an issue. Let's do this. So, incoming round 2 of the rocket snail. I'm not gonna, once again, I'm not gonna take out his eyes. They're constantly firing bullets, which, go for the eyes, boo, go for the eyes. Ha ha! Any Baldur's Gate fans out there? No? Yes? No? What's great? Man, I am not having much luck avoiding the damage right now. Oh, you know what? Part of it is that I have the wrong sub-weapon. Again, I have the wrong sub-weapon out. Bring on the missiles! They can crit, I'm putting points into you, they fire faster. Come on, game! Or me. Come on, me. I don't know. Just go with it, right? Just do the thing. Do the thing. What's the thing? I don't know. Well, why are we doing this? Why are we singing? I was actually slightly offbeat, but just go with it. No! I saw the laser coming. I still sat there and took it. Right, so yeah, my previous marathon run of this, which was supposed to be all deaths, I got distracted by a question in chat about what the flavor of vape it was I was doing at the time, and I happened to glance down, and then I ran into a wall and died. We already established that's not a thing I want to have happen, and it was a sad, sad moment. I was very, very unhappy about my play. So I'm not going to let that happen this time. I'm not going to be looking at my vape or anything. Eyes forward, mister. That is a good plan when it comes to RPGs and shooters and probably visual novels. I mean, if you're reading a game predominantly built around, well, reading, why aren't you doing the reading? Are you there for the visuals? And now that really is just going to bring up questions about what kind of visual novel you're reading, and I'm not going to go into that at all. I wanted to go ahead and use the button. We used the button. And as you can see, even though this is the more powerful version of this boss than the previous one it is that I fought, he's dead a lot faster this time. I actually saved time. Probably because I had the much more powerful saw mines right there. Don't know why they're called mines. They are not mines. This is the Solo Johnny. Solo Johnny! Alright, he's surprisingly depressed. That's fine. Oh, by the way, for those of you who are curious, I could turn on extreme mode, which is one-hit kill. I'm not gonna do that. All due respect, I think you guys can understand. I'm not gonna do that, and I think you know why. Did I get any points in credit? I did. You have to get to at least 25 on all 8 weapons and all 4 sub-weapons to be able to have the minimum number of levels necessary to be able to get the final dialogue tree with, what's her name? Deadeye. I also need to be at 50 for the next one here, so let's go ahead and do that now. There's also a way you gotta talk to Johnny first. Let's go ahead and max out items. Let's see if we can get more items. And evade is just... You shouldn't need evade. We're not gonna mess with evade. We're gonna go more shields. Because of course we are. Swamp. I hate the swamp. Nobody likes the swamp. The swamp is stupid. So yeah, there's weapons that we get that we never use. Like this one, which is clearly really, really, really powerful. But... I mean... Just... Oh, it just takes so long. I don't want to do it. Oh. So I desperately need to recharge my overdrive bar. It recharges very, very, very slowly, and you can make it recharge faster by getting more points in health, which is useful, but I'm not going to do that. It also recharges whenever you take damage, which sounds like a really stupid idea in theory, but I'm going to be... Your shields count as damage taken. So, since they slowly recharge, I'm actually going to be going out of my way to ramming myself, into things. Not like that, though. That was a little bit too much damage. That's why you don't want to hit physical objects. Well, enemies, I should say, and bullets. Those do more damage. You don't want that. That is not a thing I want to do. But for the terrain, I'm going to be ramming myself into those occasionally, unless I get a couple more of those orbs. Because those... that counts as damage, which then charges the bar faster, which means I now have an invulnerability meter, if you will. Not very long, doesn't do much damage, but if things get hairy, we're fine. And there's no way to actually recharge health outside of a couple of feats that you can take in the game. Normally, I skip both of them in favor of more DPS, but since this is a marathon, I will take the safety strat of more DPS, because killing the things faster is still the better alternative than hoping that your life is just going to slowly regenerate, even though the next hit will kill you anyways at that point. Or, every time you use the "oh no" button, it restores 10% of your health. Again, 10% of your health, the next hit will take off more than that. It works in theory, but it's just not enough to justify it. And since you never really get armor ratings in this game, per se, the best that you get is more health. And then you can buy mods that will give you more health. That's all fine and fun and good, but when you're finding something that's doing 800 a shot and you really don't have 800 health to be able to take it, you might as well just go ahead and go for broke and go for the maybe I'll just kill it first strat. That's probably the better way to go. Hey look, here's a fine example of it's a good thing that I have a weapon that can fire backwards because, duh, I get a lot more shots in against this guy. As long as I remember to not fly into him, I didn't. You kind of don't want to touch the boss. No touchy the fish. Okay, but I'm a touchy the fish. No touchy the fish! Hello, Deuce. Alright, good. I've got scatter. And he actually immediately has some in the place with the thing. Doesn't he? Yes? Good. Great. Okay, we need to remember to go into the cafe. What am I doing? Yeah, Marenswig. Marenswig. And this is the last stage where I absolutely cannot die. I do not want to die. I know nothing about Sigma Star. I wish I could speak to it, but I do not know, sir, so I cannot help you. I need a couple more levels in Laser to just have it done, don't I? I do. And that's a decent... I never really use Crush. I'll just buy the Crush. I'm done with Crush. I don't need to buy Crush anymore. We're going to go to the ocean. Under the sea, there's a submarine who will kill you right in your face. It's not true. It's not your face, per se, it's your ship. I mean, you're not the final boss, man. You're not getting shot in the face. Well, I mean, you're getting shot everywhere, technically. But, what was I talking about? What are we doing? What's happening? Who's on first? And all that jazz? I don't even know anymore. We're just gonna keep going. This is officially the last mission I have to worry about not dying in. What year is this? Listen, you. I rarely know where it is that I am or what I'm doing, so I just kick it. So let's talk about the endings, which I kind of start and then stop and then start and then stop again. This is what I do. The characters it is that you want to spend your wishes on. So there's the engineer who you met on the planet, and at the end of this section of the game, she, oh by the way, spoilers, is a genie. But like all the genies, since they're not on their home planet, A, they're slowly dying, because they have to return. They have to palm far occasionally. They have to go back to their home planet and just be on their home planet. Otherwise, they will occasionally run the risk of death, which sucks, and they obviously don't want that. She is one of them and is very good with the engineering, but she grabs a star piece and then tries to go and take out the enemy commander of the Federation, who, spoilers, is also a genie. And she gets her butt kicked. Like, they're both in space, without a spacesuit, because they can. We shouldn't do that, but they can. You're on second. I don't know. No, that's on third. Third base. Abbott and Costello. What am I doing? What's happening? Anyways, we're going to, yeah, so she is... Oh, I need to be using my other sub-weapon now, because it fires fast and does good damage and all that swankiness. We run. And we're running. We're gonna see if... Can I finish him off with the back? Oh, with the back shot! I like it. That was great. So I am officially done. Well, I'm done with Jenny when I talk to her, and I am done with Jenny. There we go. There's one. Hooray! And yeah, she's been growing progressively weaker throughout the course of the game, because that's how she rolls, I guess. Because she needs to go back to her planet. So, anyways, yeah, she decides to fight the bad guy Nefertiti, and fails and gets thrown across the universe to another location entirely. But she manages to, well, she's alive at that point, and she just lives out the rest of her life out there. Next one's weapons and money. I'm pretty sure we were fine on weapons already, pretty much as long as the new weapon that shows up, I buy a level for it that should cover a good amount, then we're generally fine. What's Crush at? Crush is way fine. Saw mines, which is the money. Is that a 34 saw mine? Yeah, I want that. Bombs are garbage, but bombs are done. No, bombs are not done. I can't afford them. Never mind. We're going to move on. We're going to the cavern. So I got to have 250 in cash, and I'm pretty sure I have enough in the way of weapon levels. Yay. Oh yeah, as you can see, this last sub-weapon will actually pass through the, it'll pass through the terrain as well, and there's a lot of little bullets that fire faster and can crit. That was why I took those first 2 feats the way that I did. You don't need to put any points into your sub-weapons, just buy a new one occasionally, and then also, they're awesome. Hey, cool, let's do this. So yeah, Jenny gets thrown across the time and space and everything and blah blah blah, and everyone just assumes she's dead, because you never saw her, you have no idea what happens to her. But the ending is, I wish we could see her just one more time, and so, that's the ending. We'll worry about what happens from there when we get to that, if that's the winning ending. Johnny is constantly beating himself up because, spoilers, he's a genie. Are we having fun yet with all of this? He's actually the first genie that figured out how to not die by leaving the planet, and it's fairly simple. He explains to you that how it is that he did it and why he's constantly looking out for all of his extended family, because his extended family is, spoilers, they're all genies. Not everyone on the ship, just all the people he keeps talking about that he wants to help out. They need money, and he's looking out for friends and family, and he's sad that he saw someone he was close to die. And he always says their family, and you never really think much about it. Now, he's looking out for the literal, remnants of his planet. And if you want to give that poor guy some peace of mind, you could pick his ending. It's the ending I went for. I feel it is objectively the best ending in the game. Who else we got? Nefertiti, the bad guy. The one who I just said threw the engineer across space. You learn she's a little bit hardcore, because she really, really, really wants to not die, because that's probably a... Well, I mean, right? And yeah, she did some pretty horrendous things, but she's learning. And really, the entirety of that ending amounts to, I would like to help her not be her. I want her to, you know, be good and learn, please. Where am I at? Deadeye and Johnny. Okay, I did get enough money. That's good. Oh, a lot of money. You start getting hella money in this game. Dollar bills, y'all. Wave! New weapon. Already bumping immediately right up. There's no more spread guns, but mine's not great, so this fight might take a while. Bombs are done. What else am I done with? Bombs done. Wave's done. I've seen no charges yet, which is annoying, but that's fine. I'm going to have to get to 60 mods, which is just going to start hosing through all of my cash right like that, right out of the gate. Let's grab a little bit more health so I can stop being paranoid about some of that. So I'm going to be banking pretty hard on the damage that my my spread gun is going to be able to do, since it is fairly outmoded at this point. I've tried to keep it relatively close, but it's like 10 levels behind, which is a 50% increase in damage. Would be nice if I could have gotten another one prior to walking into the stage, but that's fine. Again, this is the RNG we're talking about. You don't know what weapons are going to show up in the weapon shop. They will reset if you go into a place right here and then you exit or die, but don't die. Don't do that. By the way, that new weapon that new weapon I got is a wave beam that also passes through things, but it's the machine gun of wave beams. It is, I don't know what this wave beam is, but it sounds like our Raditz is pretty much it. Now, it's got a fairly wide spray, but it's pretty much just the wave beam from Metroid, and as soon as you can upgrade from that thing, you probably should. That's the long and short of that right there. Alright, so where are we at? Final stage before we go up against that capital ship that we died against at the beginning of the game. Because it is, without its major commander, Nefertiti, the big badass genie that is going to be fighting everybody and doing all the things to you, because of course she is. She's out in space fighting Ginny, our engineer. She's winning, by the way, so probably not a good situation for her, but, well, that's just kind of how it goes sometimes. But since the capital ship is largely uncommanded, your character's like, let's go fight that thing. Not a solid strat, but let's go for it, and he does, and, well, it's a boss fight. You kind of have to win it this time, so we're just going to hope and pray that that's how things wind up working out for me. Get a back shot to take that guy out, or not. There it is. Cool. Here comes the monolith. Again, who made an angry router with lasers? Who did this? Who thought this was a good idea? Why would you do this to me? And it only gets better when you fight him the third time. I won't spoil it yet. Although I think I might have, but I won't spoil it just yet. What extra bonus ability it gets at this point in time. But it is one of the sillier things I have ever seen in a game, and it's amazing. You'll love it. If you don't love it, I don't know what to tell you anymore. Oh, those Gradius skips were hot. Yeah, I'm gonna take the damage. We taking the damage. Oh, we meet it last. No, yeah, okay, yeah, great. Let's go. Stats. Is this the solo? Yeah, solo Swig. You know you've been doing it right. Oh, by the way, Swig is also a pirate lord. You know, those pirates that are constantly fighting everybody out there in the universe? Yeah, Swig is one of them. That's a good scatter. I'm probably going to need it for this boss. Oh no, I need mods. What am I doing? I need mods. I need to get to 60 and they become so much more expensive. Okay, I'll be able to buy the last two after this boss. So, at this point in time, we actually don't care nearly as much about crit or items. Bit of a given. We need, like, all the health that we can get. We're going to go, like, heavy shield. Well, maybe not that heavy shields. We're going to go... That's pretty well. That's near end game build, so that's probably good. All right, so let's go ahead and fight. Let's go ahead and fight the ship that I intentionally died against at the start of the game. By the way, it's just as powerful as it was before. So the idea of, oh no, it's unmanned, this should be easy. That's a lie. That is a blatant fabrication, Deuce. You take that back. Oh yeah, by the way, our character's name is Deuce. Make all of the jokes now. Deuce. I'm not immature, you're immature. Boss has a lot of health. There's not really much else I could have done in terms of just pure overpowering destruction right this second outside of over-leveling and getting more weapon levels. Because again, 5% to your weapons level. Oops. I'm gonna go ahead and just burn this now. Might as well let my shield recharge a little bit. Sorry, yeah, as long as they're going on the boot. No, whoa! Oh, I grinded skipped out and then back. That was dumb. Character's name is Deuce. Make your jokes right now. I'm ahead again? What the hell did I do against all of the bosses in my previous run? I'm disappointed in the me. Yeah, okay, I need to buy the last 2 mods. Alright, we're good. Oh, she drops a cool million, doesn't she? She do. So at this point in time, everything hits really hard, so we're just... Oh, that sets me up for the fast strats. That is beautiful. That is such awesome right there. And in terms of overall weaponry levels, outside of like seeing a machine gun kind of pop up, that's real close on the laser. I never got any in the charge. So outside of over-leveling a few weapons, this is a pretty good layout. I'm going to do that too. Saw mines. 5, it's a quarter increase. I'll do it. Okay. And everything else is good. Let's go! So this is where we start running into major stupidity in the game. As in, remember, I was just built to fight a boss, a super boss, you know, the one that is intentionally supposed to kill you at the start of the game. So now we're in the final sections of stages. 6 hits and my shield is nearly gone. That was built to be as tanky as possible. 6 hits and I'm nearly at oh no mode. You can bet your butt that if I actually started taking the actual damage, like health bar damage, I would be gone in 2 to 3 hits. So these last stages are a little brutal. Oh yeah, and that last weapon that I got is it's a hidden weapon. They don't tell you about it, but here it is. You hit everything that is near and around you. Nice big arcing lasers. It is not very powerful, but my goodness, it is fun. And because I got it super early in a very high level of it, that's actually going to allow me to do the fast strats. I actually had to reroute some of this game just to be able to afford myself 2 to 3 extra stages of slightly more annoying bosses and such, but I needed a higher just overall survivability or a very high level version of this weapon. So I've already got the high level version of this weapon. I'm fine with what's happening right here. I mean, you can see it's not very powerful. That was one asteroid. It took like 3 years. That asteroid just... I missed my birthday, man. Why? Meanwhile, saw mines. It's dead. But there starts occurring a lot of annoyingly silly little sections, mazes, and so on, and asteroid fields with stationary asteroids that block your ability to go through them, and since they are directly vertical from you in relationship to where it is that they are, that sentence got away from me very quickly. If they're above or below you, that's all I'm saying. If they are above or below you, then all that means is that you're gonna have to have some ability to fight those things above and or below you. Now, normally, this would be the highlight a letter and you should be fine. The problem with that is, again, that bullet will probably hit me and he has drones he will just kind of throw out. Like that. So if he throws one into me, I pretty well have to immediately start using the invincibility because like 2 of those hits and I'm dead. So welcome to the last section of bosses. They're awesome. They're awesome and wonderful and friendly. Like that. You can see it. 1 hit, no shields. How wonderful. Wunderbar. Ich nicht haben ein good time. Cafe. Shoot, who was I looking at? Who am I at? Johnny and Deadeye? Johnny and Deadeye. Great. All right. Unless I somehow missed one. I don't think I missed one. Did I miss one? No, sorry. Just really need to reorganize my notes to this slightly better. That's a really powerful chain right there, too, isn't it? So I'm going to buy that. Ow. Ow. Hang on. I did do Marantessa, right? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I did Marantessa. I already talked to them. It's a better scatter. It's good utility. I'm gonna grab it. Wave is, yeah, I'm done with most of these weapons, so I don't need to worry about grabbing them right this second. Oh, by the way, our new engineer is the one that threw the previous engineer across everything because she sucks. I'm nearly done on mods too, so I don't really need to worry about that right this second. So, okay, so remains of Lucerna. That's the planet that she was trying to get to, and well, we found it. It's everywhere. It is the new Alderaan. This is supposed to be the location of Alderaan. Well, where did all these asteroids come from? Oh, that sucks. Yeah, so this is the stage that you can immediately start seeing is terrible, because you're gonna have to be swinging things through a lot of walls. And yeah, those vertical sections, there's not really any good way to try and get around those, because they're vertical, horizontal. So you could fly through all these asteroids if you want. You do not want to do that. Why would you do this to yourself? Stop being that guy. And the answer is, I don't know, pain. I'm the king of pain. I'm also walking on the moon. There's many Sting-related puns that you could probably have going on right here. Gonna send out a message in a bot. No. Okay, so we're gonna just keep. I mean, the third backup strat is you could use your overdrive to just plow through a lot of these meteors, but there's several sections you need to worry about getting through them. So probably not the best idea in the world. I'm just gonna run right into that friggin' laser if that's okay with all of you. One more real last section of asteroids, and then we're going to start running into just waves of enemies, and then the boss that is known for having asteroids. And he throws so many more at me. Finding love in Alderaan places. I like it. I like it. I respect that pun. I respect that pun. I respect most all puns. I mean, I have to, right? They're puns. Somebody's got to respect them. I mean, most people just kind of sigh and groan, but I feel like that's disrespectful to puns. Like, they earned it. They're working hard. They're doing a 9 to 5. They're trying to make people laugh and entertain. Why you have to be so hateful, man? They're just trying. Right, so here comes the mining ship. I've got full shields, full life, a half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark. Hit it. Oh yeah, there's more meteors now. Asteroids? Whatever. There's more asteroids now. Ow. And one hit, I'm immediately already in the danger mode. I have to immediately drop the button. Wow. 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 Welcome to this boss, by the way. I did mention this is bullet hell, didn't I? I mean, it's less bullet hell-ish than your standard fare bullet hell, but alright. Childish. Who's next up in the cafe after the remains of Lucerna? It is Neferidi and Swig. Neferidi, I really feel like I should have talked to Tessa and Mare at some point in time. Did I not? I feel like I'm missing something here. That's weird. But okay, Neferidi and Swig. That's what's on my list. I'm going to talk to them. If I somehow screw this up again, I'm going to feel really stupid. Yeah, the meteorites have their own health bars. They really do. It's really dumb. I hate things. After the firebolt, Mare and Tessa. I did that. I know I did that. Okay, sorry. I'm second guessing myself because something feels wrong. Did I get the charge beam up to no? Okay, so charge beam's done. Okay. Death Jungle. Bwah, bwah, bwah. It's the place with the murderous foliage. I'm very sorry for that. I'm gonna let the music play and I'm gonna vape. Alright, I'm back. Fun. So this is the last truly easy boss of the game. Truly easy in the sense of, remember I keep talking about that boss that was coded to use the keyboard and it was not properly coded to use the mouse. I'm using the mouse, which means its one real mechanic is it tries to hoover you in and do massive amounts of collision damage, which will pretty much just destroy you in like 2 hits. Yeah, no, since I'm using the mouse, this is another example of I'm gonna kick it. How are we gonna kick it? Gonna kick it right down. I'm gonna swap over to this chain real quick. You know, hang out and just let the things that I am firing out of my plane here, go ahead and destroy them. Because, hey, why not, man? Because that's how we do, that's how we roll, I guess, isn't it? Isn't that how this works? I mean, you can see the chain's not very powerful, but if there's a lot of little things, it's useful. The meteorites are really annoying because they're beefy, and there's so many of them, and they impede your progress. You could just fly through them. Again, 2 shots and you're dead. Don't do that. Don't you collide into things. No? Yes? What's correct? I was dead at the time. I was on the moon with Steve. Someone says, I haven't even accused you of anything yet. Like, oh, yes. All right, sorry, yes. So, Living Heart, one last opportunity for me to take my hands off the control. Oh, he has a triple bullet, too, but it's whatever. So, this is going to be my last opportunity to have my coffee. I'd go get more coffee, but I no longer have the time to do so. Boss, are you dead yet? Hey, boss, you dead yet? You dead. Cool. Slowly saving time everywhere we go. I'm ahead again, by the way. I love it. I love it. I'm wonderful and happy about this. All right, that was the Living Heart, Nefertiti, and Tessa. Yes, Nefertiti and Tessa. I really feel like I should have talked to Mare by now. This is weird. But this is the last Tessa, so we're good here. So there's Nefertiti, who constantly steals your lunch, by the way. Where's the... Come on, say it, say it, say it. Do the thing. She did it again! She ate my lunch without my knowing! I don't pretend to understand it. I just know that that's a thing. And then you started asking your adoptive sister why you never went out. Whoa. We're just not gonna touch that one. We're just gonna pretend that wasn't a thing. And we're going to move on past it. We're going on to the Forbidden City. Here's another location where you really, really, really want to have a good chain weapon. Because this is when the game starts going, you know what we need? More mazes. More mazes with lots of things and awkward positions that you can't easily get to. So we can just hurt you in ways that you did not anticipate. Good times, good times. No, that's right. I meant terrible times. That's what I meant. I mean, you can see that guy is still alive. That guy is very beefy. Well, he's beefy, but also, you know, this gun's not that powerful. And yes, the black-on-black background makes it very difficult to be able to tell where the walls are. And occasionally hit detection for walls is kind of wonky. You can get stuck in the terrain and you're just dead. It sucks, but, I mean, it's fine. It happens. Just learn to not do that. When your shields are at full charge, you can see that you have this nice little blue aura around you, and you can kind of use that to gauge how close you are to a wall, because the wall will be in front of it. Fun little useful things that you can have going for you. Provided you're not taking damage, because the moment you take a hit, i.e. you went too close to that wall, you no longer have the shield, which means you can't tell where the wall is, which means, oh no! Spiraling out of control. You know, as any good RPG would when you suddenly don't have a shield and you're kind of banking on it. So, yes, no. So, how's everybody doing? I'm doing fine. I'm surprisingly well rested. Don't really know why. Had a bit of a janky day yesterday. Y'all ever have that thing where, like, your sewage starts backing up in the basement, you can't figure out what's going on, and you use root killer and it just doesn't seem to help, and now you can't even shower? Good times, good times. I have not had a fun yesterday. My yesterday was butts. I realize this is the too much information realm of the thing and all, but, go with it. I breathe! I do too! So this guy had the bullet spread, and that wasn't enough. So now he decided to bank on one much larger bullet as you do. So the safer way of doing this is laser in the back, saw mines in the front. Or you can just tank the hit like I just did. I'm actually going to tank the hit. I'm going to drop that. I'm going to rush forward. Do a little bit more of that. Drop back. Okay. You're the few things you got to juggle in this fight. It's annoying, but what are you going to do? I'm about to die, aren't I? This is not pretty. Okay, we got it. Alright, so now defense also adds to my shield and regen. So, my shields are now the beefiest in the universe. Thank you very much. Yes, all of the butts blessed. Thank you very much. Cafe is where am I at? Nefertiti and Mare. Nefertiti and Mare. Okay, great. Nefertiti, Mare. Wants to know how Mare became a fantastic pilot. Spoilers! Mare's a genie! I mean, it's how it goes, right? I have to be at 25 or up, at least on average, for all of these. Anything sub 20, I've got an excess amount of levels in a lot of these things. Missiles are low. Are there missiles in here at all? No, of course not. Not really seeing anything that makes me go, yes, I need to grab that right this second. Outside of the crush, but I'm never really going to use that. I'd really like to get a better saw mine. I could be upwards of level 50 right now, and there are no saw mines! I'm staring at just things on the screen, and it's not very helpful. We're just gonna go to the forest. We're just gonna go to the forest. That is the plan. That is the plan, Stan. And a canal. And Panama. Right, I had to burn my own O button again, so I'm gonna go ahead and bash myself against a wall for a bit. There we go. I mean, you can see the overdrive bar just fill a lot. It's very helpful. I'm pretty well done on needing to buy weaponry, so that's hopefully not a thing that I need to worry about anymore outside of get better saw mines, get better spread, and maybe a chain, but I don't think I'm going to need a chain. I'm getting backed up. There we go. I was getting backed up pretty far. I did not like that. So let's go ahead and drop back to the good weapon and hope for the best. And also I need to let my shields recharge enough so that I can then immediately bash myself against a wall again to recharge them further. As you do. There we go. Use it. Sorry, what am I doing? That's why I shouldn't beatbox. Oop, let me bash myself against a wall and take out all of my shields. Oh, by the way, there's enemies flying at me. Hold up, hold up. This is a bad decision. Hello, I'm Drumboardist, and I routinely make terrible decisions. Ow! Yeah, right there. Right there was a fine example of don't do that. What did I do? I did that. Alright, so we're going to be coming up against the third and final form of the rocket snail. Clearly the best of snails. It was the best of snails, it was the worst of snails. Normally I kept saying, hey, you can shoot his eyes out, which, you know, Red Ryder, BB gun, all that jazz. Ha ha. Because they're constantly throwing bullets at you and it sucks. Yeah, third form, the eyes have, like, I think it's 20 million hit points, so that's not really an option. You can kill them, you will not kill them, so best to just not waste your time. So as with the previous forms of him, we're just going to go ahead and just shoot him in the face a lot. And just kind of hope for the best. I'm glad I just kind of stood there and took that one like a chuckle putz. That was all of the brilliance. All of it! Ow! Stop that! Alright, next charge, I'm dropping the button. Oh, I was way early, wasn't I? Okay, I was way early. That's fine, I'll just move past him. Alright, so he's nearly dead. Aha! Cram it with walnuts, sister. That snail is dead! Same as usual, all that stuff. My crit damage is now an extra robust 25%. The best saw mine's a plus... Oh, there's a 52. Okay, I was going to say, hang on a second, game. Nefertiti and Deadeye? Okay, so I am caught up, yes. Nefertiti, there's Deadeye. Alright, moving on. Nothing else I need to worry about right this second. Hey, unfortunately, I do need to recharge... I do need to recharge my own O button. That's the good news. The bad news is there is no terrain in this location. So I'm going to be banking entirely on enemies dropping those overdrive orbs. Please keep going. It's like 50% of my bar. I need a lot more. Because with the length of the stage, I might get there, but I doubt it. So yeah, no terrain. Oh, nice. Okay, the game is helping me. Well, I'm not helping me by flying into things. Some more asteroids. Again, since those are not, it's not terrain. That counts as like a physical enemy. By all means, please do not run into it because you're pretty much dead if you do that. Ow, ow, ow. Okay, so we're set. This stage has yet another round of the Wisp, the crazy, wonky, waving, inflatable tube man, red orb boss that will fly around everywhere and also shoots bullets, and then he gets more bullets. And again, don't run into the enemy. That is where the pain lies. And since he has even more bullets, it just becomes a very, very interesting situation to have to try and deal with all this. Did I cover anybody else in the way of the game and the stage and all that jazz? I don't know, your adoptive sister who you're always annoying, you're like, I want to help her out and make her be like less mad at me all the time. And also we're not technically related, so I don't know, hey, you want to go out? It's an interesting situation. No, well, maybe? Did you? I'm confused. Maybe. I'm lost. Who else we got? Nefertiti. She's cold and weird, whatever, and I want to help her out. Okay. Johnny frets. Swig's planet was one of his home planet, and most all of the people from his home planet of Panda people was one of the first planets to get destroyed by Nefertiti when she was trying to create the wormhole that would take us back to her home planet, which she then found out was destroyed as well. So good job, Nefertiti. So you want to help out the panda, recreate his planet, be a good guy, your surrogate father and, you know, drinking buddy. Go for that. There's Deadeye, who is, you know, the weaponsmith, who's obviously a bit of a kook, but she has, like, legitimate issues. She's blind. She has that weird eyepiece monocle thing because she cannot see, so she had to develop a thing that would allow her to read visual signals so that she can then actually, you know, see to a certain degree. Oh, I have to use this. That was garbage. Pretty much right at the end, too. What are we doing? What's happening? I don't even know anymore. Yes, the wacky, wavy, inflatable arm flailing tube man. Next up is Nefertiti. Just Nefertiti. Probably nothing I need right here. No, I would want better scatter or crush or not crush. Scatter, saw mines, crush. That's pretty much all it is that I'm looking for at this point. I'm not seeing any of it, so we're gonna go right on into the ocean. Nobody likes the ocean, but here we are in the ocean. At least there's objects I can beat my ship against so that I can try and rebuild the overdrive fairly quickly. But because this is the final stage, the mechanic of this one is, congratulations! You really, really can't move very fast at all. I have maxed out speed, and I am about as slow as you were at the start of the game. So that's a fun situation, isn't it? Beating myself against the wall. Oh, I almost got stuck in the wall. That would have been death. That would have just been the death. Also, there went my shields because I accidentally touched a thing. Hey, what are you doing? I touched the thing. You dead! I guess I'm dead. I'm really dead. I'm not actually dead. I got better. I didn't. Not a witch. Okay, too many enemies right here. Maybe I should worry about shooting them first and asking all of the questions later. So yes. So we're rolling along. We're doing fine. We're doing good. Well, within reason. Yay. So overdrive is full. I lost a little bit of health, but that's okay. I've got a big beefy amount of shields. And I'm throwing saw blades in space that also immediately return back through me and through everything else. Because that's fair. And pierce. Well, that's kind of what threw everything else apart was going for, but in case you said I didn't pick up on it, I just wanted to make sure it was clear. Let me not nearly die to that guy. That's probably a better plan. I'm gonna assume it's a better plan, but I mean, it might be. It might be a terrible, terrible plan. If it's a plan for me, you might as well assume. No, I don't. I don't want to do that. That is not a good decision. So anyways, remember the guy that I have to keep, like, flying around because I move real slow and he don't? Well, here he is again. And since I move a lot slower, this is going to be interesting. I don't really like where this is going. Go, 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 go. No, why are you just... Ugh. You got stuck. Why were you getting stuck? Drop the beam. Just drop the beam. Drop the beam. Please don't die. Shields, I want those. Nope, never mind. We're done. I don't care. We finished that stage. We golded that stage. Wow. Oh, it's because I got good saw mines prior to walking up on that guy, yeah? One more round of just Nefertiti. Yeah, and then final Mare, final Johnny. Okay, good. Because certain people don't show up at certain days and times. So it's a 54 on the saw mine, which is good. I really want more of these. Johnny only requires that I have 350,000, so I'm pretty well going to be set on that anyways. Let's go ahead and go even more shields, because as you can see, my shields are going to be very much larger now, and then a little, yeah, and then, I don't know, money, yeah, well, I don't really need money. Let's go extra experience. Every little bit counts. It also unlocks further weapons for me to be able to roll on at that point of time, so that's exactly what it is I'm going to be doing. Alright, another stage with all of the walls, because of course it does. Why wouldn't it? And it's kind of hard to wall grind to be able to build your shield up here, because sometimes you'll randomly get sucked into the wall, and, I mean, sometimes that's okay. You pass through the wall, you skipped a section of, you know, the maze, which is not necessarily a bad thing. It's less good when you get stuck in the wall, and, then you're right back where you were, and the slow crawl of the screen then murders you. That's not something you want to have happen, don't do it. Nope, nope, get off the wall! Ah! Trying to not be on the wall, but the game was like, no wall! Sorry. It's a little bit of a maze. You have enough time to be able to figure out, oh, don't go this way, that's a trap! And then don't. A little bit of time to figure that out. Let's actually keep rolling that for now and take those guys out. There's bullets. No, stop with the bullets! I should probably actually kill that guy. Yeah, like that, and then worry about trying to do the AoE. Oh, so yeah, right there I just phased through a wall. Not what you want to have happen. Well, most of the time it's not what you want to have happen. If you can just skip a section of the walls, cool. If you want to skip certain songs on the wall, don't. It's a good album. What's wrong? Well, okay, some of it's pretty good. Would not fault you there on that front of going, man, this is weird. I'm going to skip this track. Now, Dark Side of the Moon.
Can I just pop in for a quick sec?
Yes!
Awesome. I just want to give a quick plug, reminding everyone that this is a fundraiser marathon for the TheRPGValkyries. We are fundraising to try and send some of the Valkyries to RPG Limit Break. So any sort of donations you are willing and able to give is super appreciated. I am linking the incentives in the chat. So you can put those donations to a lot of cool different things for the runs we have going this week. So feel free to do that, and if you can, just spreading the word helps a lot. So very appreciated.
Thank you for that. Oh, by the way, this version of the dragon will now just charge at you. His mechanic is, I'm gonna smash that guy! Like, no, don't do that. That is, I do not want this. Obligatory Nine Inch Nails reference. I also like not running into bullets. That is a hobby of mine. Do not run into bullets. I don't know if any of you... I've heard a few people out there share that hobby. It's a pretty good hobby. Yeah, no, yeah. Did not gold that one. I'm surprised. Let me see. Okay, so, crikey, where am I at? That was the icicle. Hang on! I've got... I'm not gonna get all endings. One of these didn't happen. Why not? What is going on here? I need Nefertiti. Which one did I skip? I had to have skipped one. There's Nefertiti and Mare. Next up is Nefertiti and Johnny. Tessa's gonna get dropped off? What is this? I had to have skipped one somewhere, and that's weird, because I was dropping 2 every time I had the opportunity to do so. Not again! Is this gonna be an any %? Ah. Okay, well, we're just gonna hope that it's somehow my math is weird and it still winds up working. But that's frustrating. I don't really understand why that's happening. Because I've been looking at the dang notes. I didn't have to reroute things either. Ah! Sorry about that. I should have taken that opportunity right there to immediately bump up Natara. That was my bad. I can't believe that. That is weird. That is really weird. Ah. When did I not go into the freaking cafe and talk to people? You always go into the cafe and talk to people. I'm confused by this. Ugh. Everything is stupid. I hate things. Well, I hope no one was donating for the super secret ending, because it looks like you might be getting the regular ending. Or one of the other character endings, which, again, you know, pick Johnny. He's the best. I'm really bummed out by that. That was stupid. There should not be 4 people right there. Unless I somehow miscounted on Nefertiti entirely, and I'll still be able to get the last 2 coming up, but I don't think that's the case, so I don't really know how that managed to go down. We'll see after this stage, but I just... Still just annoyed by it. I don't even remember if I managed to grab a spread gun after this or not. Ow. I'm just gonna take that shot. I'm just gonna take that hit right there in the face. That's what I do. Ow! And there was a wall. Should have used my shield to locate where the wall was. I did not. So again, here is the last normal boss before the final boss. And I believe I mentioned before, he gets, it gets something funny. This boss, this time around, with the rotating weak spot and laser beams at the tops and the bottoms of the screen, and then also you'll fire homing beams at you. He gets a little... It's silly. It's a little bit silly. That's all I'm saying. That's a decent spread. So the question here is... Who decided to give the big giant spacefaring modem a sword? It has a sword. Why does the boss have a sword? Also, how big is that sword? I'm a normal-sized person in a ship in space. So, that boss is pretty big. Which means that sword is inhuman. Like, why? What? Just why? Just why? I got pincered there. There's nothing I can do about that. It's just the game's just gonna kind of... No, lasers, and then also that. You cannot Gradius skip through the sword. I am not about to try. That is not going to be a thing. Alright, so... Oop, oh, that was bad. I'm really hoping this next one is just Johnny and Tessa. I'm really hoping so. That means I just somehow decide to talk to Nefertiti earlier than I was supposed to, which means I would still get all of the endings. I hope. But I can't believe I would have dropped the ball like that. That's weird. Ow! Why? There was a sword. No. No. It's a bad sword. Hell, I'll just do it. Just finish him off this way. Okay. Good. Cafe. Nope, there's 3. I don't know when I missed somebody, but that's weird. That's really weird. That's really, really weird. Alright, so Natara, before I move on, what are the donation, or what are the ending totals look like right now?
Right now, I think it's just Johnny in the lead.
Hooray! So that means I have to do Johnny. The reason I ask is the last 2 people will be their final dialogue tree, which unlocks their last dialogue tree. So if I had to pick one of them, I would have to pick one of them. So who you want? You want the bad guy, or do you want the adoptive sister?
Oh, right now it's whichever one Johnny is. I'm assuming.
Well, I picked Johnny. Johnny is done. Johnny is fine. You always take Johnny. What do you want? You want the redhead or the pink-haired?
Bad guy. Whichever one's the bad guy.
Bad guy! I respect that. We're going bad guy then. All right. So, final build just to be able to then get ready for the boss. There weren't any better saw mines? No, of course not. Ah! Buy more of these things. Alright, so we're rolling up on the boss. We don't need experience. That's a bit of a given. We don't really need accuracy, but the crit and evade is pretty good. Regen is largely useless at this point of time. So I've got 10 more. We're going to dump it all into shield. Okay, so this thing on the entirety of the right side of the screen, that's the boss. And in case you think that's joking, here's the boss. We're fighting Desire Incarnate. I do not have my oh no button. I'm almost nearly dead right there because it hit me once. So I'm just gonna let the music play. I'm probably not going to survive this run. But we're almost at the... Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Deaths don't actually matter at this point in time because I'm immediately back in the fight. And I have the ability to actually drop back and do the invulnerability. I lined myself up wrong. There's a bullet that kind of travels through the middle of the screen, and you can go beneath it and above a secondary passing, and I've now successfully hit that bullet 3 times. And there was a laser. Just game, why? Why you do this? Ow, ow, ow. Yeah, this is the point of time where you really, really, really want a high-powered, and I should have looked in the shop. You want a really high-powered saw mines so that you can actually do enough appreciable damage to this boss so it doesn't become an issue. Oh yeah, there's his beam, so I'm gonna drop mine. Okay. So on those instances, it can only go a certain distance up or down, so you try to locate a sweet spot where you're not getting hit by things, but also avoid that, and then also use your spread beam. Or I could get in really, really close and try to use my chain gun. Not solid reasoning on my part, not something you want to do, don't do it. Ooh, there's more overdrive. I want that. Give me that. Give me that, please. Because if I can get to another invulnerability moment, I might just be set right here. Go! Go! No! We're almost there, though. We're almost there. We got it. I'm going to drop it now. I'm going to clear out those guys. I'm going to retake my position down here at the bottom of the screen. Allowed my shields to recharge a little bit. Ow. Ow. No, hurry up and die! I got him! Well, unfortunately, this was no longer an all endings run because for some reason I dropped the ball on which all endings was. So that because it wasn't all endings, that just means this is just a any % run. The reason I mention that is that I just beat the record on it by a minute. So it wasn't the run I wanted it to be, but that was the world record in any %. Okay. So one final countdown, one final check. Johnny is the winner, correct?
Yes, Johnny is the winner.
Yeah, look at that. I missed 2, and I don't know how. So Johnny, the perennially tortured barkeep, is the one we picked. So, Wishing Star, what do you know about Johnny? Again, you destroyed Pure Desire Incarnate, the thing that can grant wishes, and this is the other half. So this is the one in charge, and it gave you the option of having a wish. Oh, the Johnny from your ship. I remember him well. He wished for lesser beings to also be given the power of wishes. Little did he know that meant for me to become stronger. Unfortunately, it had the side effect of making Iblis stronger as well. No matter how many times the Lucernians wished it, the wish could not be undone. Iblis thus acquired sentience. Even though Iblis wanted peace again, he could not obtain it as long as I was alive as well. Thus, Iblis resolved to eliminate all desire. Yeah, Johnny, he feels so much guilt over what happened. I mean, because of his wish, the whole wishing system was thrown into chaos. He's never forgiven himself for what he's done. Well, I'm afraid I cannot change his mind, if that's your desire. Manipulating free will is beyond my power. No, I have a strange request of you. Would you bring Johnny here? This is an odd request. May I ask why you want him here? I want you two to talk things out, nothing more. I must admit I am curious as to your request, but I shall do as you wish. Alright. What the... Where am I? Funny how everyone always asks that. Who are you? For once, it's something you don't know about. Johnny, this is the Wishing Star. The Wishing Star? No one's ever seen it in humanoid form. What's going on here? We successfully defeated Iblis. The Wishing Star is here to grant me one last wish. I used that wish to bring you here. I'm being punished, aren't I? No, nothing of the sort. I dragged you here to make peace with yourself. Dearest Johnny, several centuries ago, you made a wish that greatly altered the course of events. I know. I'm sorry for all the trouble that I caused from that stupid wish. By the time I realized it, it was too late. I like to imagine that I'm Bowie when I'm doing this voice, by the way. The wish could not be undone. Well, it was bound to happen one of these days. Even if you had not wished for it, someone else would have done similar. Yeah, but the fact remains I'm the one who wished it. I'm the cause of Iblis's evolution, and therefore nearly wiped out all of life as we know it. Yes, it was your fault, Johnny. Wishing Star! But the question remains, what do you intend to do about it? I don't know. I'm at your mercy, Wishing Star. Yanni, you are the first person to forsake your ability to grant wishes. May I ask why? I suppose I should explain what happened back then. Eager to get away from the Djinn Ifrit War, I visited some alien star systems. I forgot where I met her exactly. The woman who would challenge my fate. I saw the many hardships she faced. She was poor, she had so little. She was well educated, but having to take care of family limited her potential. Feeling generous, I offered her tools to speed up every chore, every job, every leisure activity she had, but she simply declined. She was the first person to ever turn down a wish. Why would she do that? That's exactly why I asked her. Instead of answering my question, she looked at me and asked if I was happy. I responded, I don't know, why do you ask? She said I had lonely eyes, and because I thought I'd never experienced true happiness. Despite all the hardships she faced, she told me she was happy with her life. At first, this puzzled. I mean, it even aggravated me to no end. I had no idea why lesser beings would want to work so hard for something so trivial. I escalated the offer from wishes to riches and what have you, but she declined them all. Fed up, I finally wished all lesser beings had the ability to grant their own wishes. I didn't realize my wish would take centuries to come to fruition. This wish, of course, was a big mistake. By the time I realized that mistake, it was far too late. I returned to spend time with this woman. She asked me to join her in her way of life. I sat there, imitating what she had done, refusing to use my powers. Not much, but I began to feel a sense of accomplishment. For the first time, I created something with my own hands and not willed it into existence. Mundane things like painting, writing seemed to inspire her. She shined like a brilliant star. She taught me more things, and I realized I wanted to live with this person for the rest of my life. Even when she was ill, she promised me not to cure her. It was then I knew I had to become mortal. I gave my dominion over Earth to her, knowing I could never make a wish again. And thus I became the first Johnny. Then it is I who owe you an apology, Johnny. Whatever for? I had come to believe that all Lucernians relied on me too much, yet you proved that you were willing to forsake your power just to be with someone you loved. Now, I still shouldered the responsibility for evolving Iblis. Johnny, yours was a long life, far too long to bear that kind of responsibility. I will carry that for the rest of my life. Perhaps there is something I can do for you. I offer you the opportunity to join me in sleep. Wishing Star? You mean kill Johnny? I am offering him a peaceful rest, one that he has earned for all his hard work. That is a tempting offer. I might live hundreds of years more before I expire. In all honesty, this is a long time. I'm not sure how much more I can bear seeing my descendants perish. I didn't bring Johnny here so he would leave us! You wanted him to make peace with himself, yes? This is exactly what Johnny desires. Yeah. Sorry, Deuce. It's not that I've grown tired of living. I'm just plain old tired. Wishing Star, I would like to take you up on your offer. Johnny, no! I don't want to lose another friend! It's alright, Deuce. I appreciate everything you've done for me in Orica. It's time I join with everyone I've lost. Deuce, if I may make a selfish request. Yeah, sure, what is it? I made a promise to Merritt and Ifriti to share the secret of becoming a Johnny. I hate breaking promises, but if I'm to end my life here, I'd like you to carry out my promise for me. Alright, you can tell me. All Merritt and Ifriti have to do is transfer their power to someone who doesn't have any, like you. They'll naturally form the missing elements needed to sustain them without the aid of Lucerna. Despite having their powers, you won't actually be able to use them, as you lack the same kind of willpower that we have. You think you could do that for me? You really want this, don't you? From one friend to another, I ask that you leave me be in peace. Alright. Thanks, Deuce. I'm ready anytime, Wishing Star. Very well, time is short. I shall return Deuce to the safety of his ship. Thanks for everything, you two. I hope you guys rest well. Yep. Johnny gave me a handshake and a hug, patting my back. I leave my cafe to you, Deuce. Oh, and make sure Swig doesn't drink out the bar. Yeah, I will. And everything became white again. Several years later. Deuce, give me another one! No way, you're at your limit. Ah, come on! I did as Johnny asked. Both Nefertiti and Mare became John, giving their powers to me simultaneously. I didn't feel any different, but because Mare's powers were so strong, I had the ability to affect water to a tiny degree, because again, genies. I took over all of Johnny's assets. It turns out all this time he was hiding a fortune. I think he was purposefully losing bets to people in order to make them feel better. Deadeye became ecstatic now that she had huge research funds. Meanwhile, Tessa now had a full medical team and refurbished sickbay. Swig, well, is the same old Swig. Johnny never actually charged him for a single drink. I guess Johnny was a lot nicer than I expected. Johnny had so much money that he rivaled corporations. In fact, because of that, we were able to force stiff competition upon the Federation. With prices being driven down, lower-class citizens were finally able to live higher-quality lives. I set up a new gravestone next to Oracle and Ginny, marked Johnny. Every year, each of us come to visit them to pay our respects. He might not have been a hero, but he was someone who deserved all of our respect. Johnny, wherever you are, you deserve that peaceful rest. The universe is a place filled with regret. Mistakes will happen. People will get hurt. There will be times we wish we could take it all back, but our desires will fall on deaf ears. It is through regret that we learn compassion, and empathy that we learn forgiveness. Our past deeds are forever a part of us, but we cannot dwell on the past forever. We must learn to forgive ourselves. So make sure yours is a life without regret in the end. And that is Starwish, ladies and gentlemen. I'm really sorry I can't count correctly. I still blew it. Ah! I mean, it was an any percent run, but still, I cannot believe I blew it. I'm sorry. So, Natara, how much time we got left on this?
Well, we have about 4 minutes if you have anything else you want to show off. Otherwise, we'll just go to the next, the kind of waiting screen and get set up for our next runner.
The only thing I would have thought about trying to do is going to New Game Plus and taking out that battleship at the start of the game, but I forgot it actually doesn't keep your stats right out of the gate, so it would take longer than 4 minutes. So we'll just go ahead and call it right there. That's it for me. Thanks, y'all. I believe I already voted for Johnny, because of course I did. That's the ending. So that's it for me, I guess. Thanks, y'all, and, yeah.
Thanks a lot. Okay.